Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to the Times, Manchester United players favour Mauricio Pochettinho as the next manager. Mauricio Pochettinho will seek to become the next manager. Pochettinho is on the verge of being sacked by PSG after PSG got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. It said the other week that Mauricio Pochettino wants a Tottenham Hotspur return. Well, before PSG, Pochettino was at Tottenham. He endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his managerial tenure at Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. Revert back to 2018 though, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. I think Tottenham made a mistake sacking him at the time. Before Tottenham managed Southampton, he managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. He only endured a short managerial tenure with Southampton. And a lot of years ago, he managed Espanyol. The other week, the PSG director Leonardo said that Mauricio Pochettino has never asked to leave PSG. You know, Pochettino is upset. Pochettino has been the PSG manager for over a year. I think he has won a French Cup with them. His contract at PSG expires next year. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Erik ten Hag, there's a good chance that he'll be Manchester United's next permanent manager. You know, there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. Ralph Rangnick also wants Erik ten Hag to become Man United's next permanent manager. By the way, Erik ten Hag has been in contact with the Man United players ahead of an interview. You know, he wants to find out more about the squad. Erik ten Hag has told Ajax he wants to leave at the end of the season. You know, ten Hag has been learning English and he has his heart set on a move to Manchester United. Erik ten Hag is a good manager. If he became Man United's next manager, I think he'd get the best out of these group of players. He'd suit the shoppings of the club, and I think he would be capable of winning trophies. And it would be good for Erik ten Hag to come and experience the Premier League. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's won a couple of Eredivisie titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals, and he's developed the young players well. He's been the Ajax manager for 5 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. You know, Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. And Man United are not even really known as a sacking football club. The managers we've sacked since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. The reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board and bad disputes with the top players. And last year, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Ralph Rangnick, he's been Manchester United's interim manager for around 3 months. He's Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick wants the permanent Man United job. Reflecting on the 4-1 defeat to Man City, that was Rangnick's 3rd defeat in all competitions as Manchester United's interim manager. Rangnick has lost 2 games in the Premier League. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Revert back to earlier on this season, he recommended Ewan Sharping as an assistant coach and analyst. He also recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he recommended Saz Chalenzin as a sports psychologist. Unfortunately, Rangnick did not get backed in the January transfer window. Man United enjoyed a very disappointing January transfer window because Man United didn't make any signings. We should have let Lingard and Henderson leave, but we blocked their exits, and we had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of January. But on the other side of things, Man United let around 8 players leave in January. Rangnick's enjoyed 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Rangnick's aim for this season is for Manchester United to finish in the top 4. Obviously, top 4 is in doubt, reflecting on the 4-1 defeat to City. It was in doubt after the 0-0 draw against Watford. Man United's only chance of a trophy this season is the Champions League. I'm very sceptical we'll win the Champions League, so it's going to be another trophyless season for Man United. Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. So there you go. Now, like I say, Manchester United have got good players. On the other side of things, we've got inconsistent players as well. So, we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo has won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Ronaldo, he missed the game against Man City because he had an injury. Rangnick has confirmed that Ronaldo is fit for the game against Tottenham tomorrow. Ronaldo is out of form. He's only scored 1 goal in the last 10 games he's played. The last goal Ronaldo scored was the game against Brighton at Old Trafford, but prior to the Brighton game he didn't score in his last 6. Ronaldo has threatened to quit following his Derby Day absence, and recently Ronaldo held crunch talks with his agent George Mendes over his Manchester United future. There's a good chance Ronaldo will leave this summer, especially if Manchester United fail to finish in the top 4. Since Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, he's scored 15 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Manchester United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt, and Ronaldo's contract at Man United expires next year. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo is the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He receives nearly £500,000 a week. Anthony Elanga, a very good young player. He's done really well since he broke into our first team squad. Don't forget, Rangnick said that Anthony Elanga was close to leaving Manchester United. Anthony Elanga came off the bench and scored a late equaliser against Atletico Madrid in the first round of the Champions League last 16. And Elanga scored in the 4-2 win against Leeds at Ellen Road. Revert back to earlier on this season, Anthony Elanga got racially abused on social media because he missed a decisive penalty against Middlesbrough in the Cup. I totally disagreed with him getting racially abused. Elanga has been part of the club for a long time. You know, he joined Man United's academy at the age of 12. He's now 19, so he's still young. And Elanga's under contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. Jadon Sancho, we're getting the best out of him now. You know, he's settled in. You know, Sancho did endure a bad start to his Manchester United career. He's still done nowhere near as well as a lot of United fans expected. You know, Sancho scored a very good goal against Man City last week. It was a precise, low strike. Sancho played well against Man City. Manchester United signed Sancho last summer from Borussia Dortmund. We got him in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 73 million up front. Sancho's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. He did endure 4 good years at Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. Marcus Rashford, he's a good player overall, but he's not in form at the moment. You know, Rashford has not been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. Rashford missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem, and earlier on this season he had a minor leg injury. I gave you the news on Rashford not so long ago. Romano came out and said that Marcus Rashford is considering his future at Man United. He is concerned about his lack of playing time. Now I'm hearing Real Madrid are interested in Rashford, Atletico Madrid reignited their interest, and PSG are also in for him. You know, Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And since then, he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Rashford's contract at Man United expires next year. Edison Cavani is a good player. Cavani, not so long ago, recovered from a groin injury. Cavani's had quite a few injuries since he signed for the club. Cavani has been linked to a move to Brazil. He's been linked to a move to La Liga as well. Cavani's expected to leave as a free agent this summer. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Jesse Lingard, he's not good enough to represent the club. Lingard will leave Man United in the summer. He should have left in January. Lingard's out of contract in the summer. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time, but Lingard doesn't really get in the team. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham. Juan Mata, we've also got him. Don't have a perception on Mata anymore because Mata doesn't get in the team. He lost his place in the team a while ago, plus he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up. But despite all of that, Juan Mata has had a good career at Manchester United. You know, Mata has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. He's out of contract in the summer. Bruno Fernandes, very good player. He's one of the best players we've got, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Bruno Fernandes. You know, Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for 2 years. Man United got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, Fernandes rejected a new Man United contract. It said Bruno Fernandes' contract talks are postponed until the summer, having turned down an offer last year. Fernandes is under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Fernandes only receives £100,000 a week. Paul Pogba, he's also a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Pogba's done well in the vast majority of his games since he recovered from injury, but I don't think he's been too good in his last, 3 games. Pogba did get the assist for the Sancho goal though against Man City last week. There's a good chance Pogba will be leaving Man United this summer. I've been hearing that Pogba is interested in a Juventus return. Well, before he re-signed for Man United, Pogba, he endured 4 years with Juventus. He did very, very well. Earlier on this season, it said Paul Pogba is open to Premier League offers if he leaves Man United this summer. Pogba's out of contract in the summer. Earlier on this season, it said Pogba would be open to staying at Man United if Rangnick was to be the manager next season. Pogba has a good relationship with Rangnick. You know, this season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed and he's won 3 trophies so far. And Manchester United paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Fred, he's not good enough to represent the club. Fred, though, has had his good games under Rangnick. Fred's had a lot of bad games though as a United player. You know, us having Fred and McTominay in the centre of midfield, we're never going to win a title, like Roy Keane did mention. Fred and McTominay played a lot of games together. Man United got Fred a few years ago from Shakhtar Donetsk, you know, got him for £50 million. McTominay, I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. I said earlier on this season that McTominay was one of our best performers under Rangnick. Well, he was at one point, but, you know, he hasn't had a good game for a while, I don't think, McTominay. You know, McTominay's still young, isn't he? You know, he's been part of the club for a long time. Revert back to 2020, he signed a new 5-year contract with Man United, so there you go. Man United have also got Matic. I'm expecting Matic to leave in the summer. Well, he's out of contract in the summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he does get his opportunities. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got. Earlier on this season, he had a shin injury. Matic did play in the 0-0 draw against Watford, and to be fair, put a good performance out. He didn't play against Man City last week. Matic has been at Man United since 2017, so he's been with us now for over 4 years. Man United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for £40 million. Luke Shaw, he's a good left back overall. Luke Shaw has endured though a lot of poor games this season, and he's had a few injuries this season. He is injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 8 years or so now, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. I think Luke Shaw's contract at Man United expires next year. We've also got Alex Telles. He's appeared to be our first choice left back under Rangnick. To be fair, Telles has been impressive under Rangnick. You know, Telles can be good from set pieces. He can get forward well. He can get in good positions. He can cross well. He can have some good chances. Defensively can be good as well. Do you think Telles will leave Man United this summer? Telles has been subjected to transfer speculation before. Telles has been at Man United for around 2 years or so now. Man United got Telles from Porto back in 2020. Got him in a deal worth 15.4 million. The reason Man United brought Telles in was to provide competition for Shaw. Diego Dalot, not a great player, but I've got to be honest and say Dalot has been impressive under Ralph Rangnick. Dalot hasn't started for a while because obviously Rangnick's decided to go with Wan-Bissaka. Revert back to Dalot though, do you think Dalot will leave Manchester United in the summer? Because he's been subjected to transfer speculation before. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto. We brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. Man United paid around £19 million for Dalot. Dalot's contract at the club expires next year. And we've got Wan-Bissaka. Like I said, he's played the last 3 or 4 games. He weren't too good against City, but he did well in the other games. Defensively, Bissaka's good most of the time, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. Do you think Man United will look to sell Wan-Bissaka in the summer? You know, this season has been his 3rd full season. Man United got Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Got him for 50 million. Harry Maguire, he's certainly not good enough to represent the club. I think Man United will look to sell Maguire in the summer. You know, Man United fans want Maguire out. Earlier on this season, a lot of Man United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. He's not a leader, Maguire, is he? Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that Maguire will remain Man United captain until the end of the season. Prior to the City game, he said Harry Maguire was upsetting his teammates in the dressing room. Man United certainly overpaid for Maguire, got him for 80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the 2nd most expensive signing at the club. Maguire's been at Man United for over 2 years. He's endured quite a few injuries since he signed for the club, Maguire. We've also got Varane. You know, Varane is a very good centre-half. You know, most of the time when he plays, he seems to make the difference. Varane missed the game against Man City last week. Was it due to a knock? You know, Man United have also got Eric Bailly, you know, a good centre-half, but doesn't get in the team. You know, he lost his place in the team a while ago. Bailly is injury prone, which is a concern. We've also got Victor Lindelof. Don't think he's good enough, but he's had his good games this season, especially under Rangnick. We've still got Phil Jones. I'm expecting Phil Jones to leave in the summer. And obviously our first choice goalkeeper is David De Gea. De Gea's been sensational this season. He's now back to his best. You know, De Gea made some good saves in the game against Man City last week. Weren't for De Gea, City would have had more than 4. Our second choice goalkeeper is Dean Henderson. He's a good keeper but doesn't get in goal much because revert back to last summer. De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson has only made 3 appearances this season. Third choice keeper, Tom Eaton. Obviously don't have perception on him because he doesn't get in goal. He's just a backup. Man United got Tom Eaton on a free transfer from Aston Villa last summer. And at the time, he signed Heaton, he signed, what, a 2-year contract with an option of a 3rd year. And I still think Lee Grant is at Man United. So, there you go. There you go. And earlier on this year, it was good news from Man United perspective that Ed Woodward stepped down. You know, Woodward was one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. He was accountable for how poor our recruitment policy was. Woodward was at Manchester United for around 17 years. Earlier on this year, Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward as a new chief executive. We've got to get the Glazers out because they've been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. You know, the Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16 and a half years. The Glazers bought Man United for 500 million back in 2005. So there you go. So now guys, on my next video I'll be giving you my predicted 11 for the game against Tottenham. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.